On the plane silently crying with tears in my eyes. Must have been looking at me so crazy, like, for no reason. Now I understand why y'all be saying I need Jesus.
He mentions crying or feeling emotional without a clear reason. How do you interpret that?
Well, crying is one of the more natural or more normal parts of emotional regulation after sobriety. When alcohol is no longer numbing feelings, emotions may surface suddenly and intensely. And listen to that word I say, intensely. And most people, when you see Vic talk about that and you see it coming from a male, you think like, wow, this is this is really, really challenging for him. And again, rather than something being wrong, it's often the body and mind relearning how to process feelings naturally. And I think that's what we see with what Vic is saying. He's learning how to process these things a little more natural. And for that, again, I commend him. I mean, I think that he is navigating these things really, really well, especially after 4 years. And he's going back into it. And when we listen to it, you see that he was almost having that moment of feeling like he wanted to relapse. And, very, very impressive.
Love a drink right now. I would not be sad anymore. I should order a drink. Then I remember tomorrow's my 4-year anniversary. I would throw away my 4 years.
He admits there are still moments when he feels tempted to drink. What stands out to you and how he navigates cravings?
Well, just as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, cravings are a normal part of recovery. Even years later, what's impressive is how he is utilizing therapeutic tools like mindfulness. He specifically mentions the grateful flow, and I like that. I mean, the grateful flow is something that I utilize as well, and it shifts the attention from the desire to appreciation. This reframes the moment and weakens the cravings hold, and that's what you want to do, is get the hold away from the cravings so that you can do other things and take your mind off of the alcohol, the feeling of wanting to utilize the alcohol.
Dealt with mental health issues, suicidal ideation since I was 5 years old. I've been on a million medications. It's led to my addictions, to my many career struggles.
Vic also reflects on mental health struggles going back to age 5. Yet he's built a successful career in music and acting. How do you see that resilience?
Well, at the age of 5 to now, that in itself is very impressive. I mean, the early onset mental health challenges can make it, life incredibly difficult. But they can also build strength, and we see that in Vic's situation. For Vic, channeling pain into creativity, it has been a way of surviving, and not only surviving, thriving, because he's very successful in what he does. Therapy supports that by giving language and structure to the struggle, while his art allows for expression and connection. What he's doing now is he's utilizing his platform to not only engage the people that follow him, but he's telling a story. And, sometimes when we tell stories, the stories really magnify when people can feel like they can really delve into who you are as a person. And by him opening up about his sobriety, for 4 years, I think that says a lot about who he is and a lot about, being able to navigate from those struggles.
So from a therapeutic perspective, Vic's story is less about perfection and more about progress. His openness shows that sobriety is not just about quitting alcohol, it's about rebuilding a whole life.
I always say, with a story like this, especially Vic's, if his journey resonates with you, share what strategies help you cope with challenges. I mean, we want to know those things. Therapists want to know those things because they want to put things in perspective and in place to help individuals. And remember, seeking therapy or professional help is not a weakness. It's a powerful step towards healing, and you want to make sure you're taking those steps towards healing. So, again, hopefully something that we saw in Vic's messages is something that's empowering to not only you, but, individuals that are suffering from any type of substance abuse.